You're getting more viewership than Food Network.
There's always a huge mess. Shit, is this gonna burn? Madness everywhere.
You have over 3 billion views, 10 million subscribers, 75 products in Walmart.
We cover most everything you need in the kitchen, which blows my mind.
How much does this cost?
3,570K, 150K.
Does it ever get nerve-wracking to invest that much in a YouTube channel?
That was an impossible goal to meet. The way I do voiceover, see, I'm putting on my radio voice. The Simpsons.
Like a modern spin on Ratatouille.
The tortilla sombrero. I always hated my voice. Turns out people enjoyed it. I just leaned into that. This is a craft still.
Yeah, that is so cool. I can't believe we just saw that. Are you serious? Have you talked about this publicly?
You're very good at what you do.
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell because we have so many big videos coming up. I can't wait to show you guys the video that we just shot here. More interviews, more studio tours, more video breakdowns, including an interview with Babish. Plus, we're giving away signed cookbooks from Babish to 3 of you who subscribe and ring the bell. If you're already subscribed, you're already entered. And now, back to the video. Andrew, thanks for having us in your studio, man.
Thank you so much for coming, man.
So how many videos have you shot here in total?
We've been here for 4 years now, and average, I don't even know how many videos a year. I don't even know how many videos I've made. I don't know much at all.
Yeah.
Which camera do I address? This one? All right.
Well, I mean, you've had over 1 billion views on your channel, like 10 million subscribers. It's crazy what you're able to do from this setup. What do you think are the things when you're setting up a kitchen for a YouTube show that are different than setting up an actual kitchen?
It's a good question because I feel like most YouTube cooking shows are just people in people's kitchens. So like, chicken or the egg situation. But I think that one of the most essential parts is having a table that you can shoot across. That was the angle that I started doing with binging. Was I needed to figure out a way to make a cooking show by myself. So I needed to find an angle. You can't do top down. That takes a whole rig. You need stability. You need focus control, things that one person can't really do. And you can't have multicam setups. You need people operating the cameras. So having a fixed angle straight across the table with the ability to view and record separately.
That's huge.
Yeah, we got the monitors there. That was first year of doing the show. I was running around the side of the table and hitting record on the camera, running back and hoping it was in focus. So having a table you can shoot across is essential, and having space to the left and right of the active production area where you can make a huge mess, because there's always a huge mess at the end of the day, no matter how much you're actively trying to keep things organized.
Oh, wow. Because when I see your shots, it's so cinematic and I like that you put the mess up in there, but you're saying that these are the areas that we don't see that have more there.
If you deviate outside of the 35 degrees of visibility here, you're gonna see cacophony. You're gonna see just madness everywhere. And that's kind of like me. Like I try to put my best foot forward on the show, but I also do show, like you said, the mistakes.
Yeah, just take me through like some of the things, because it seems like a very thoughtful space.
Well, thank you. The environment has changed 4 times now. This is the 4th kitchen. And this place was just a rental garden apartment, and we had to pretty much tear everything out and start from scratch with most of it. There wasn't a giant 6-burner Viking, stovetop here with ventilation when we moved in. This all had to be installed. All the pegboard in the back, wanted to do like a goth Julia Child, so it's all the black pegboard. We had to completely tear out the kitchen and put in this much more stripped down industrial style kitchen to do all the prep work and the research and whatnot. And over here, this is a knife that my dad had made for my mom back in the 70s, and so now it's mounted on the wall. This, it's really cool to own a brownstone in Brooklyn, but they're still pretty narrow buildings. Yeah. It's not very production friendly. So you guys are, you have about 3-4 feet of play there behind the cameras. So there's not much room to maneuver in here. So we needed to build things that sort of move along a production line, kind of like things could be prepped and measured over here, made over here, set up to cool over there. It was really a trial and error process, because we moved in here and it was quite different. We had to sort of figure it out as we went along. But yeah.
How many products do you have now, Babish? Or Babish, can I call you Andrew? Well, Babish, do people call you that?
You call me Andrew, that's fine. You can call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't know the number of SKUs we're up to now. I think last I checked, we were approaching 75, 80 different SKUs.
You have 75 different products.
We cover most everything you need in the kitchen at this point. Like most tools, you could outfit a kitchen and almost entirely with our stuff.
Wow.
There's a dozen different knives, dozen different pans. It's available in every Walmart now, which blows my mind every time I say it.
Wow.
I never would have imagined the world. So that's one of the lines of thought with the Bed and Babish, which is another project we're working on, which is a vacation rental that I'm building in the Catskills.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Bed and Babish?
Yeah, I'll show you pictures.
Is this new? Have you talked about this publicly before?
Yeah, a little bit, but just here and there. No,
Yeah.
I haven't made a big announce yet because it's almost done and I want it to be done. But the whole kitchen's going to be outfitted with all of our products because how many Airbnbs have you gone to that have a functional kitchen?
Not many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because even if you have the best kitchen in the world, they put 2 pans and a dull knife in there because they don't want to mess up their good stuff. But we make our own. So we're gonna have sharp knives and functional tools ready to go.
And what a brilliant way for people to try the products, low stakes way, fall in love with it, and then go to a nearby Walmart.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea.
You definitely thought about it. Wow, 75 I mean, I think it's so smart because now I feel like creators starting products is becoming the thing. You've been doing it for a while, but this is, I think, one of the most seamless integrations into the actual content. So it doesn't feel like you're shoving something in our face.
Yeah, we rarely, if ever, advertise the cookware on, like, you know, buy the cookware now. I just show it. Like, I'm cooking and you can just see a flash of that. And if you're curious enough to type Babish into Amazon, there it is.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm wondering, like, what does an average shoot day look like while you're here?
I don't know if there is an average shoot day, just because the ask for each video is so wildly different. Either I'm making something that needs to ferment for several days before being smoked for 8 hours or whatever, or I'm taste testing every Campbell's soup, or, you know, just we're making a cake. The episode I just finished editing was Great British Bake Off. They made the chocolate cake from the opening credits into a technical challenge. I don't know if you watched the show, but they had to make the cake in 2 hours, so I tried to do it in 2 hours. Didn't work so great.
Which is actually what I love about your channel. I want to talk about that as well. What would you estimate this studio to cost? Because you're putting out stuff that's getting more viewership than Food Network. Like, if you had to estimate it, is there a price to your kitchen studio here?
So it's hard to say because I probably put, if I had to guess, 150K into just like getting this place up to code. And then the initial renovation. Before doing this part of the kitchen, where, you know, we had that installed, we had the stuff downstairs installed. That was probably, I think it was like 60 to 70K, because again, you know, they're expensive high-end appliances, but we tried to keep things super bare bones, industrial, easy to clean, easy to, you know, organize, and, you know, just industrial chic.
Does it ever get nerve-wracking to invest that much in a YouTube channel? Or at that point you're like, you know, we're making it, we're good. Like
at that point, I was making more money year over year, every year. So I was just like, this will just keep going forever. Now, you know, I'm a little older, I'm a little bit more conservative. At the time, I was like, yeehaw, let's go. Now I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost? Insurance, you know, whatever. I'm a little more cognizant of it. But I was a young man. I was 32, 33.
When you made the investment in this place. That's awesome.
Which never in a million years would have imagined that I could buy a brownstone. Like, that was an impossible, unreachable goal to me, not a couple years prior, for the entirety of my life. And I'm still in awe every day when I wake up in this place and like, I live here? This is nuts.
Yeah. Andrew, can we see what's in your fridge?
Shit. I didn't even look. I don't know what's gonna be in here. Okay, nothing too crazy. This is pork floss. It's basically pork shoulder that's been boiled, spiced, dried, and then dry fried until it's basically like spun cotton almost. And we were using it for a Simpsons episode, Klavkarash.
Okay, yeah.
I've been waiting to make for years, and we finally figured out a satisfying way to do it. One single Modelo Especial. Empty shelf, we must have been cooling stuff off down here because it's very rarely an empty shelf. Bunch of just random produce. We always have like the basic herbs on hand, lemons and stuff that we might need, and just a mishmash of condiments on the edge of expiration.
So where are we now?
This room has 3 purposes. It is our office, it is our green room whenever we have guests, and this is my desk over here. You can tell by how much of a freaking mess it is. A messy mind. This is how it
I feel like every creator to some extent is disorganized chaos.
Yeah, no, that's really the way, you know, if you look around here, that's all you see. But you know, we keep our trophies and accomplishment kind of stuff out here. We got the diamond play button there, streaming award over here.
So it looks like this is your next upload on the YouTube channel?
Yes, this is the Great British Bake Off chocolate cake, which ends up looking like that. I don't know if you watched Great British Baking Show, but that's the way it ends up looking.
Yeah.
The way I do voiceover is it's sort of improvised sentence by sentence. Like I definitely have to take a few cracks at everything, but I don't have a script of any kind. If I say like, okay, I'm gonna add 125 grams of chocolate to the bowl, it's just gonna be something like this.
Listen, if there's one thing I've learned from all my interviews with creators is that you don't need big money or a big team to find video ideas that break through. In fact, many of the moments in this video, along with the thumbnails, were brainstormed using a new tool called Spotter Studio, and I want to give it to you for free. So whether you're a new creator who's trying to figure out YouTube or you're growing and you want to grow even faster, Spotter Studio has so many useful tools. Like it lets you brainstorm ideas by literally typing in a few words and then letting Spotter Studio give you new variations on it, different expressions and tweaks. You can also spot outlier videos to see what's trending so you can easily adapt it. And you can organize it all into these project folders that help even the messiest of creators stay organized. And when you sign up using my link below, you'll get it all for free for 2 months. That's a 2-month free trial to Spotter Studio, which is actually 1 month more than you normally get if you didn't use my link. I honestly think it's one of the best deals I've ever had in a sponsored video, and you have nothing to lose and so much to gain by trying this tool. So hopefully you could smash it too. All right, now back to the video.
First up, we're gonna add 125 grams of 52%, see, it's 56, not 52.
Are you looking at notes as you say this, or where?
No, I just have been looking at the recipe a lot recently.
Got it.
First up, we're gonna add 125 grams of 56% dark chocolate to a heat-proof bowl. And then I think that's 100 grams of unsalted butter. And as you can see, I'm putting on my radio voice, you know. My radio voice is so quiet, it only works with a mic, because you're not gonna hear me if I'm doing this in a restaurant or something like that.
How did you channel that, Andrew? Because like you have this amazing yeah, almost raspy like FM late night voice. Like, do you practice that? Did it come naturally? Like people always comment on it.
I always hated my voice. Like most people hate their own voice, and I never liked it. I never thought that there was any value to it, and I was surprised as anybody when turns out people enjoyed it. So I just leaned into that as hard as I could.
Why not bring in editors? Like you've like been growing the Babish culinary universe. Like you've had other hosts. Like why not have somebody else do this? Have you come in with the voiceover, have them like get a script ready?
So I've tried to do that, and it's a matter of efficiency and miscommunication. I can put together. This was like a 5-minute assembly. The bare assembly that's timed with the music, I edit to the music first, which is to my detriment. That's a bad idea. But I want my actions to sort of like coordinate with what's happening. So like, here's a turn in the music where temperature and 100. And now I come in at that moment. So I time the actions to the music. It's just a nerdy thing.
I feel so seen right now. When we do our intros, we do the same thing.
Oh, that's okay. Thank God.
You know,
I'm the only one.
I mean, I feel like it's a subconscious thing, and then people realize, oh, why did that hit differently? The music is the underlying reason why.
It's kind of like even if you know nothing about cars, if you're getting an Audi and getting a Hyundai, you're gonna be able to tell which one's more expensive. You might not know anything about cars, but you can feel it. You know, like so it's these little things that I really hope, even though people probably will never notice that because they're only listening to me talking. I hope that subconsciously it registers as like this is a craft still.
Yeah.
So I edit together with the music first, and putting together the bare assembly to that point takes about an hour. Like it's fast.
Yeah.
It would take me that long to transcode the footage and get it to an editor, and it would take them however long it takes them, and then another hour to get it back to me. And then once I get it, they don't know what I want to talk about. They don't know the parts, the things that I want to hit, the jokes I want to make.
Right,
if I,
right.
Like, I was simulating that before. I already
Yeah.
did all the voiceover, but
Yeah.
here, I'll show you a moment like, this is such a dumb little moment, but.
We're now using self-rising, so I'm going to add baking powder in just a moment. First 50 grams of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
Just
one
this
teaspoon
little
of
thing, like
Yeah.
like they don't know if I want to include that. They don't know if
Right,
like,
right.
And I don't even know if I want to include that until I see it. Like I forgot that happened. So it's not a great joke or anything, but that's an example of how it's very hard. I don't know if the show would have the same tempo and feeling and humor if it were passed through all those filters of different people.
Yeah.
Which is why it stayed my responsibility, because it just is the most efficient way to do it. And I end up spending as much time as I would, an hour, let's say, for an assembly to, either change or fix things. They might have rushed through one sequence too quickly and I need to focus on that so I can talk about it. And I end up spending the same amount of time anyway. So it's just like, it nets out.
Wow. That's fascinating. Do you have another editor who works here? Do you like have other team members like here or?
So we have we're a team of 9 now. So mostly Nico, one of our producers, sits here.
I love all the branding.
There's a terrifying bust of me as a cookie jar over there. We can just pretend that doesn't exist. Don't look in the eyes too long, or you're gonna turn into a cookie jar yourself. So down here is Studio B. Either I or Alvin will shoot down here. Alvin Joe is another personality on the channel.
Yeah. Will both of you shoot at once, or only one YouTube video is filming at a given time?
We typically we'll both shoot at once.
You'll both shoot at once.
We're rarely rolling audio. We are rolling audio if I'm doing like, one of those live audio tasting episodes. But other than that, we're blasting music in here and having a good time. So we'll shoot simultaneously all the time.
Yeah.
That is the biggest loss when we're doing live audio videos. Is the
Like live action where you're like,
yeah. So there's that, and there's also there's less pressure to be on. Like I realized recently when we started doing these live audio videos that they take a lot of energy because you get, like right now, you and I, we're being on. We're on camera right now. We got to be on, and it's a cost. Like it does take it out of you a little bit, but as opposed to just standing there and cooking, which is a little bit more leisurely. But rarely am I thinking about the script when I'm shooting. I'm more thinking about like, shit, is this gonna burn? Oh God, I need to pre-chop this. So just like I'm much more harried and focused on the actual cooking.
And just to set context, we're downstairs from the studio we just were in, and then the editing bay is next to it.
Correct.
And then you live above there.
Yes. And I can show you up there
setup
too if you want, but it's a pretty good setup.
I love it.
Like you said, separation is key.
Yeah, because you don't sleep here. You just go upstairs and then can separate the two.
And my last place, which was sick, it was a penthouse in Soho. I'd say 80% of the square footage was used for making content. The other 20% was where I slept and where I watched TV, and even over there. That's where our editing bays were. My editing bay was, and it got way too, for lack of a better word, incestuous. It got way too like, where's blurring the lines? Where do I end and where's the channel begin?
Yeah.
And I have a lot more to say about that later. But
well, I'd love to ask about that in
clearly,
interview as
water.
well.
I'm starting to rasp out here. This is where we keep all the gadgetry and stuff that we've accrued over the years. There we go. These are winter tires. So like, we have to buy a lot of goofy odds and ends sometimes for any given episode. There's a fondue pot here, panini press. Here's a deli slicer. Gotten a surprising amount of use out of that, actually. And then also just, stuff that we get sent. Anova sent us some nice, new sous vide equipment. And this is just where everything sort of ends up just in case we ever need it.
Yeah.
This was, believe it or not, this was way worse up until about 8 months ago when we did this big spring clean and we demarcated. Here's cooking, here's film. It was just, here, let's put it in this room.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I'm excited to continue the conversation on the interview, but this is just so cool. I've never seen this much detail in a kitchen before, so.
Thank you so much. It's a huge relief to hear you say that after seeing some of your interviews and some of the insane spaces that you've been able to see. For you to say anything nice at all about this place is, that makes me feel good.